Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. It's Friday, May 24th, the Friday before Memorial Day weekend. I hope everyone is taking Monday off, and I hope everybody remembers that it's not just an extra day. I'll tell you about this again on Monday, but Memorial Day has meaning, so I would encourage everybody to think about that meaning as we head into the long weekend. And of course, markets are closed on Monday, so just to remember that. It's probably a good thing. Markets could be closed a little bit more often. We don't need to be trading so much, just to be clear about that. All right, so it is Friday, and today's Friday focus is paying for healthcare in retirement. And I know that so many people have this question because, you know, every year you get this big survey comes out from Fidelity and they said that you spend so much money on healthcare in retirement. And so that's why for many people, when we talk about retirement, and people used to run calculations for their retirement and say, oh, I'll spend less money in my retirement years. And you know what happens? You start adding things up and you might say, well, I don't have to pay for commuting, or I'm not putting money into my retirement account, but the cost of my health care, it is sure rising. So if you have a question about this or anything else about things that you should be contemplating in your retirement or at any other time in your life, go to our website, jillonmoney.com. Click the Contact Us button. Let us know if you'd be willing to come on the air. And don't forget, while you're on the website, sign up for the free weekly newsletter and subscribe to Jill on Money Live. That's where you have access to quarterly live webinars and bonus video content. So let's get to some emails. This is from Emmanuel, who writes, Hi, Jill. I'm a new listener and love the show. Yay! Thank you for listening. I'm 26 years old and I'm just starting my career and my financial journey. So I appreciate all the great advice you give. I'm writing today concerned about my parents' financial situation and whether my dad can afford to retire within the next year. My dad came to the U.S. decades ago with nothing to his name and has worked hard to provide for our family. But the years of working hard as a blue-collar worker have taken their toll, and he wants to retire by the beginning of next year. My parents have always been frugal people living without much luxury, and they wish to continue to live a simple life once my dad retires. Here is a snapshot of the family situation. Dad's Roth IRA, $47,900. Dad's 401k pre-tax, $42,000. Dad's other 401k with a previous employer, just about $148,000. Mom's Roth, $46,000, and a high yield savings account, $130,000, a checking account of $7,000. Okay, so here we go. Dad's projected Social Security benefits are $1,786 at his current age, $1,993 at age 67 and 7 months. That's his full retirement age. $2,500 at 70 years old. Okay. Oh, this is a bummer. Mom doesn't qualify for Social Security benefits because she's been a stay-at-home mom with no income for the past 17 years, taking care of my 5 younger siblings. Oh my God. Current age is 10 to 17. But she would qualify for half of his, just to put that out there. So I don't know how old mom is. Let's see. Oh, mom's young. Okay. Let me keep going here. So their household expenses, $3,000 a month. No debt. House is worth $220,000. Dad is 66. Mom's only 49. All right. Dad has been the main source of income for the family. But ever since I've started working, I help cover some of the household expenses, insurance, groceries, etc. Being a large family and living in Texas, my parents' tax situation has been favorable throughout the years. My big concern, what do I do about medical insurance coverage for my mother and siblings once my dad retires? Right now, they have coverage through work. Dad is healthy. Mom has some ongoing minor medical issues that require medications. I'm thinking that shopping at the healthcare marketplace will be their best option. I'm not sure how they should account for healthcare expenses once my dad retires. Oh, this is so sweet, Mark. I want to cry. I love my family. I'll always be willing to help financially, but I need your help to assess their situation. Oof. Okay. So let's go through this, gang. This is one of the biggest issues about healthcare in retirement, especially when you have a disparity in age. So dad will qualify for Medicare, right? He's 66. So he will be able to qualify for Medicare. That's him. The question is the rest of the family. So here's what I think happens. I think you've got two choices. I think if you go into the marketplace, okay, if you go into the marketplace and dad is only making, I'm going to pretend he gets this $2,000, right? He's only making $2,000, okay? And so if he's only making $2,000 and that is the all of the income for the household, what'll happen is you'll sign up for some, let's call it a silver plan, and you will be getting tax credits because there is a cost, but they'll get money back. And I think they'll essentially be able to have free healthcare. I'm pretty sure that would work, because the only other way to think about it would be that mom and as a family, that mom with the kids would qualify for Medicaid. And I don't know which one is going to be the right way to go, but I think those are the two options. I'm pretty sure. And I think that because your father is older, although I'd love for him to be able to wait till age 70, they need the income. So he'll get $19.93 in January. So he's going to retire, right? He'll claim his Social Security. He'll get this $2,000. Now to get the extra $3,000, they're going to have to pull some money from something. If you make below the poverty level for a family this size, then you would end up claiming through Medicaid. That's how they would get coverage. It ends up that their income is 100% of the poverty level, then you would get a tax credit for going through the marketplace. So here's what I think you're going to need to do. You're going to have to walk your parents through this journey. And I know it is going to be hard, but I think that we look at, if it were just your father, it's easy peasy. It's like he gets a Social Security and he goes on to Medicare, fine. But for your mom, because she's younger, there is going to be a separate plan of coverage for your mother and your younger siblings. And so what they're really going to need, I know that you want to help financially, what they're really going to need is they're going to need your help in navigating this system. For everyone listening, you might think this is crazy because there's money, there's assets here. It's about the age difference and the cost of coverage. So I think that's it. All right. The next question is from Jane about HSA accounts. And Jane writes, my husband and I work for the same employer and they offer an HSA. We want to start at one, but we wonder if we should have separate HSAs or a family HSA together, or split one single and one family plan. We've got 2 daughters ending college. They're debt free. We want to focus on our retirement and healthcare future expenses. Our daughters would still be under our health plan until they age out. That would be age 26. My daughters embrace medical care, whereas my generation never saw a doctor, LOL. I think one does a family and one does an individual. And I bet that allows you to put a little bit more money away. So here's the thing that I don't know. Here's what I don't know, Jane. I don't know how much extra money you guys actually have. Because if you're planning, if you say like, you know what, we're both maxing our retirement accounts, we've got plenty of money, life is good, then yeah, I would try to put as much money as I possibly could in a health savings account because it's basically triple tax exempt, right? Because you get money that goes in and you get a deduction for that. It grows without taxation. When you pull it out to pay for healthcare expenses in the future, you're set. So what I want to know is how the rest of your financial life looks. Okay. That I really would be interested. Okay. So it is Friday Focus, and our Friday Focus is about paying for healthcare in retirement and planning for various retirement issues and needs. And Mary wants to know about long-term care funding. And she writes, hi, Jill, I thought you would appreciate not the recommendations from 2 financial planners, a quote fiduciary and a CFP. By the way, they're both, if one is a fiduciary and one is a CFP, then they're both fiduciaries. Okay. So my husband and I recently interviewed these 2 for an overall review of our financial situation. And we had planned to self-fund our long-term care needs. We're both 72. We're homeowners with income from pensions and Social Security, $130,000 a year. We will start taking our required minimum distributions next year, about $20,000. Wow. So they're going to have $150,000 a year in income. They've got $7,900 left on their mortgage. 2.75% interest will be paid off very shortly. They got 65 grand in cash, 160 in Roths, 565,000 in IRAs, and we're slowly converting them to Roths. We don't have any other debt. We spend about $7,000 a month, leaving us savings of $2,500 a month. Mark, can you imagine 72 years old and you're still saving? Mary says the kids are grown, they support themselves. And she says, our main concern is the potential risk that we are taking on with self-funding our long-term care needs should they arise. So this is what they did. They interviewed some financial planners. They wanted to see what they would recommend. And she writes, I am still in shock from this. The first one recommended a variable universal life policy for each of us that we would fund for $26,000 pending underwriting and physicals for a net benefit of $400,000 and net benefit increase in year 16. The second one recommended a FlexGuard series index variable annuity, which we would fund at $110,000 per account. We'd be protected up to 20% loss for 6 years using an S&P 500 average net return, blah, blah, blah. Just the names of these products raise red flags for me, nor could I understand them after inquiring twice about them. Needless to say, I was shocked by these recommendations, and I've decided to skip the financial planner plan and continue doing what we're doing. All right, Mary, I am also somewhat shocked. And maybe, you know what I would always love to do? I'd love to have an advisor come on the air and maybe point out what I'm missing. Because what I see is that you are saving money, right? And you've got this money in cash and you keep building up money, which I think you're probably using somewhat to, move some of the money, to pay for the conversion, but you've got a bunch of money. You'll basically have $150,000 a year of income. Would it be possible that both of you would need full-time, full care at the exact same time? And you would blow through your money. I guess that is possible, but you do have $130,000 of income, or $150,000, which is a lot considering, your ages. You know what I would say? I wouldn't necessarily convert your retirement account. I don't know why they're doing that, because I'll tell you what I would do. I would just take my RMDs at this point. You don't need to convert. And once your mortgage is done and, and you'll probably have some more money, that you can put aside. I would just save the money, build up the cash. You've got your couple of years here. I would start a brokerage account right now with my 25 or $3 grand a month. And I would skip these products unless I'm really missing something. And by the way, everyone who's thinking about this, I know that we're all freaked out about long-term care. I get it. You hear these horror stories, but in reality, it is the rare case when people need hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars from their retirement accounts and their portfolios. And they, like all these things have risk, right? It's not the norm. It's not the norm. So the norm is that you pay for care. It's not full-time care. You need some help. You guys are going to have the income to do it. So I think you keep doing what you're doing. And I like skipping the advice. Okay. WG. I'm not even going to say the name. WG, retirement help needed. Hi, Jill. Love your podcast. I want your take on our situation. Married, filing jointly, 64 and 62. Still working, $150,000 in W-2 income for another couple of years. Pension, $6,000 a month, and Social Security, $6,000 at age 70, meaning between the two of them, I think. We've got money in a 401k and a SEP IRA. So there's about $1.55 million in pre-tax money. There is some money and a Roth, 10 grand. Brokerage account, $1.5 million, mostly tech stocks like Tesla. House paid off, trust stocks completed. Need 10 grand a month for expenses, not concerned about having enough. Okay. However, I know I'm way overweighted in stocks, but I'm concerned about IRMAA. Should I be doing Roth conversions, selling my tech positions, buying bonds in this low yield environment? It's not a low yield environment. It's a long yield. It's a high yield environment. I'm at a loss of what to do. Mark, I find it humorous that these people have over $3 million and the guy's freaked out about IRMAA. Okay, once again, let's go through IRMAA, guys. She's not your great aunt. She is someone who can really eat into your Medicare planning. So IRMAA is Income Related Monthly Adjustment Amount, IRMAA. And what this does is that when you have modified adjusted gross income over a certain amount, so $103,000 for an individual, $206,000 for a joint, then you have a surcharge to your Medicare. Now, if for some reason this freaks you out, which I don't know why it does, but I guess people are crazy, I'm going to give you the numbers. This is why I don't really think this is a big problem. I'm just sort of making fun of you. And so WG, don't worry. I do this in jest, but you're worth over $3 million. You didn't even tell us what the value of the house was. You're going to have plenty of income. You're not worried about anything. So if you look at your income, even at age 70, right, you're going to have $12,000 a month, right? So you're going to have about 150, but then you're going to have, let's say that you have even more. Let's say that because of your, you have investments and this, that, and the other thing. So let's pretend that you had married, filing jointly, $250,000 of income. The IRMAA charge for that, meaning your surcharge, would be a whopping $1,000. That's what you're concerned about? Now, let's say you sold everything. You really wanted to do Roth conversions and you wanted to make sure that you could have all that money available to you. And the worst case scenario is that you'd have to pay $6,000 in a given year that you're doing Roth conversions. So what I would do is this. I would start thinking about doing some Roth conversions because you're going to get whacked. I would sell some of my tech stocks and get some cash, available for you guys. Pay the tax that's due. And by the time you're 65, have this cleaned up a little bit. Maybe you're still going to have to pay some IRMAA, but who cares? Why is everyone so freaked out about IRMAA? I mean, we're talking literally, it is a maximum of $6,000 in a given year. And you've got millions. So if you're way overweighted in tax stocks and you are concerned about IRMAA, I'm going to flip it and say, don't be so concerned about IRMAA. If you want to take some of the money off the table in the tech sector, I feel good about that. If you're charitably inclined, that might be this might be a wonderful case where you take a low basis stock and you put it into a donor advised fund. That's something you should definitely consider. I'd love to get you on the air with us, truly. Because this is one of those situations where I really want people to understand that you're more concerned about something that is like, nonsense in the grand scheme of things than the thing that is the issue, which is the overweight in stocks. So I would love to have a follow-up conversation. All right, that's it. That's the program. We are so grateful that you listen every single day. And if you'd like to come and give us a holler, come on the air with us, go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, check the box if you want to join us on the air. And don't forget to check out our YouTube show. It's called Jill on Money, powered by The Compound. That's where you'll become a Jillionaire overnight. All right, you can subscribe to us on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. It is Friday, so I also want to remind you that our music is composed by Joel Goodman. Mark Talercio is our executive producer and king of all things web, and we are distributed by Odyssey. Lift someone up, change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.